Hey guys, Coach Dave here. I'm just here to talk about the next cycle we have coming up for the Pro and the Build programs, right? So we just finished a 12-week program, right? How that program was structured was we had 4 days of strength/skill work alternated between lower body and upper body, right? We had our one recovery day, and then we had our sicko Saturday, as it was appropriately dubbed, right? And then we had our rest day, right? So it was an interesting take on a CrossFit program. I haven't really seen anything done like that before, so I was kind of curious how it'd go, and I thought it was an appropriate time because we didn't really have anything going on for the foreseeable future because of the COVID situation. So why not dive into really trying to get stronger and better? And then the idea was after that, we were going to get into an open focus program. That was with the expectation of the open still being in the fall. As it looks right now, it's going to be pushed back to where it was before in that February, March area, right? So still in the foreseeable future, not a whole lot of qualifiers going on. So instead of switching the focus, I feel it's more appropriate to kind of add on to what we already did. So we had that program, was called Basement, right? And the idea was to build the open prep on top of that, but we're just going to build some more framework there, right? So this is what we're going to do. We're going to kind of keep the same format, right? The 4 days of strength and skill work, the 1 day of recovery, and then our sicko Saturday. But there will be some key changes within that format going forward, right? So we really built a solid base, and now we're going to kind of add a little bit into there, right? So I'm going to talk about that right now. So let's start with our Monday, right? So by the way, a lot of these changes are made from the feedback that I got from the last program, also kind of seeing where people improved the most, didn't improve as much, and so I kind of switched some stuff around to try to get a more overall improvement across the board, right? So for our Monday, all right, so Monday, once again, is our lower body day. Really big focus on squatting, in strength and endurance, right? But now that we have that base, that squat, strength, and endurance base, we're going to add some more barbell cycling type work, especially into the conditioning pieces, right? So before we were doing some technical snatching and cleaning on those days. Now we're going to kind of layer that in to those conditioning pieces, right? So it'll be good to see how we're reacting now under fatigue to say snatching or cleaning. But also too, some feedback I got was that the Monday workouts were a bit daunting, right? It was a lot of just bike and squatting intervals, and didn't really look forward to that, which is fine. Sometimes it has to be boring to get better at it, right? And I saw improvements in that department, but so now we're gonna kind of it's gonna be a little sexier, right? So we're still getting strong, but now we're forced to do some things under fatigue that maybe we're not so comfortable doing, right? So that's a key change to our lower body squat day, all right? Now our Tuesday and Thursday, they were both upper body pushing and pulling days. My initial thought there was to kind of bring that back a little bit, right? I thought it was a lot. I looked at it, I'm like, man, this is a lot of stuff going on. But the feedback there was that those were the best days, right? And in fact, the results were huge across the board in the gymnastic movements and the strict handstand push-ups, strict pull-ups, muscle-ups. I saw people posting, and also my personal clients saying, man, I had the biggest gains in those departments, right? So I'm not gonna mess a whole lot with that, right? It's gonna still be a lot of layered on, working on gymnastics, getting strong in that department. Some key changes would be I'm gonna make the conditioning workouts a bit more skill intensive as well, right? So we built that base, we did a lot of strict work in the conditioning, and now we're going to kind of add some more skills under fatigue there, right? So for instance, on this first Tuesday, you're going to see handstand walks after ski erg or rower and burpee pull-ups. So you're going to be forced to doing that movement under a bit of fatigue, right? So that's the key difference at Tuesday and Thursday, all right? Moving on to Wednesday. Wednesday was classically our lower body pulling day. We had deadlifts, we had plyo. Big difference there is that, and I'm really excited about this, is a speed focus, right? Agility focus, more of like an overall like athletic focus. So we built a good base in this last cycle, and now we're gonna kind of add on and do some really fun stuff, right? So a lot of sled pushing, a lot of sprint drills. There will still be the deadlift and plyo work, the barbell cycling, but now instead of having any sort of like classic conditioning or those EMOM pieces, it's going to be a lot more focus on the speed element, right? So think zigzag sprint event and getting ready for something like that. All right, I'm really excited about that. Now moving forward, Friday, once again, recovery day. That's not going to change very much. Sicko Saturday. Sicko Saturday is going to change a little bit. Instead of going from essentially Thursday to Monday without really working on any sort of skill or strength work, the block one of Sicko Saturday will now be a weakness focus, right? So instead of going event, you're going to focus on a weakness first. So I'm going to have some options there. You can obviously add a few things that you think you need to focus on yourself. My options will be, hey, if squatting is your weakness, boom. If pulling from the floor, here's some extra work. Upper body pulling, upper body pressing. Ideally, you're only picking at most 2 things to focus on there. It's not really supposed to be a ton of volume. You're supposed to kind of focus and get some extra work in those departments, right? And you should do that first, all right, before moving on to the next block, which is our like WOD gauntlet, right? So it'll be anywhere from 2 to 4 events, right? You rest as needed between. I prescribe 10 to 20 minutes to kind of make sure you're like close to fully recovered, going from one to the other. And they should kind of flow from the more skilled events to the least skilled events. So this first week, the last event's like a little mini like monostructural chipper to end the day. Not a whole lot of skill involved there, right? So moving from having a mono event, a strength event, and then a classic CrossFit event, we're going to do weakness focus, and then a little bit of a WOD gauntlet thing. With some fun events, right? You'll still look forward to that. The Sicko Saturdays, the feedback I got from that was these are really fun. So I didn't want to mess with the fun there. It's just going to be kind of structured differently, all right? And then Sunday is still a rest day, and you guys should really take advantage of that, right? And then getting right back into it the next week, all right? So the idea here is another 12-week cycle, and hopefully after this, we have a clearer picture on some qualifiers or the open to look forward to, and then we can really develop a program that focuses on those things a bit more, right? And we'll be even better then because we'll have this great foundation of strength and skill to work with moving forward, all right? So that was my long-winded video. Most of you guys probably didn't make it this far in the video. If you did, that's awesome, all right? If you have any questions, DM me at Forged by Zeus or Zeus Boulder, my personal account, and I'll try to answer it to the best of my ability. All right, let's go ahead. Let's get out there. Let's get after some fitness. Let's go.